Welcome to Yeti U102, customizing Yeti with your own content. If you are here, I'm guessing that you have already signed up for Yeti Academy, so thank you for that. If not, I would like to invite you to visit our website at yetiacademy.com, and you can use the sign up for free button that you see here. We offer both free and premium versions. A little bit about us. We are an online tech-based learning platform that focuses on STEM. And our platform can be utilized in any learning environment. Although it's designed as an in-class experience, it's also great for remote and hybrid learning for K-12 students. So our modules are really great for science classes, technology classes, career and tech education, special class projects, electives, really anything you can think of. So today we are going to focus on creating custom curriculum. So you may want to edit an existing module that we have, or perhaps you'd like to use our tools to take a project or a course that you are teaching currently and bring it into our platform. Or maybe you have an idea for something new that you'd like to try using Yeti Academy. So today we're going to run through some of the steps to do that. So we're going to start with just a very, very quick tour of our teacher dashboard. This is where you will be directed on login, and you can kind of think of this as your home base. If you're not sure where to go at any time while using Yeti Academy, you can just check out that menu on the left side, and clicking on that dashboard button is always going to bring you right back here. So the first thing that we're going to look at today is editing an existing module. So what that is taking a course that we already have and really making it your own. Now we're going to look at this today primarily from a teacher standpoint. However, the Yeti Academy platform is also really great for professional development. So if an administrator wanted to introduce material for a teacher training or an in-service training, this is really an engaging way for teachers too to be able to learn content in more of an on-demand environment. So, you know, if you don't want to just let students have all the fun and teachers want to earn some badges, this is a great way to do it. So stay tuned and we'll talk about custom badges also coming up. I mentioned on the dashboard that there's a menu for teachers. The final tab on our teachers menu that you'll see here is curriculum. And that's where we're going to do most of our work today. Yeti Academy offers a variety of modules for different grade levels, and this is where you're going to see the categories that are offered. So when we click that curriculum tab, we're going to get a list of the module categories. So we offer curriculum in a range of topics and grade levels. We have areas like science and coding and digital literacy and a lot more. The menus you see here, I just wanted to note that little yellow star. This is actually an administrator's menu. And so it's going to show a couple of extra tabs on the side that are not on the teacher's menu. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So if it looks a little different, that's why. So moving on, if we are to click on a type of curriculum, that will show all of the modules that are included within that topic. So if we choose digital literacy, when we click on that, we're going to see the modules that are included here. And today, we are going to use Snowboard Shop for our example. So we're going to modify this curriculum that's already existing. So Snowboard Shop focuses on the Google Workspace applications and is really geared toward 3rd to 5th grade students. And they're helping Sadie Shred build her snowboard shop called the Backcountry Yeti. So to get started, we are going to click on the 3 dots next to the Snowboard Shop title that are right here. And when this copy button shows up, you're going to click on that. This is going to bring up a pop-up box, and this will prompt you to add the information that you need about the course that you're writing. So whether it's going to be shared with your classes or your school, you will add a title for your course and details about it. And after completing all this information, you're going to click the Create button, which is right here. So to see the course that you just created, you are going to click on the Custom Curriculum button. So again, we're here in the Curriculum tab from the menu. And this is going to open up the new course. This one that I just made is called Betty's Bakery. Now this is at this point, other than what you see here, the title and this little description, these 23 lessons are the same that are in Snowboard Shop. So those are the existing lessons. And to work on these, we're going to click that Lessons button. So you can see our new name up the top, Betty's Bakery. And all these lessons that you see, concepts 1 through 9, these are the existing lessons. So we have our new course name, but we have the existing lessons from Snowboard Shop. So to get started here, we're going to click on one of these tiles. So we'll start with number 1, the concept tile number 1. You can think of these like chapters in a book. That's how I think about it. So we'll click on that to start editing. That's going to bring up our first lesson. Again, these elements of the lesson came right over from Snowboard Shop. So you might want to change some names on this or move things around. If you'd like to change the titles, you can click on the little pen and paper icon. If you'd like to change the order of the lessons, you can drag and drop them in place, and then just click the Save Order button when you're finished. So to make changes to the student modalities, we're going to click on the View button. When we click on the View button, that's going to bring up the student side of things, the student modalities. If we want to add to the text, again, we're going to click the pen and paper icon. That's going to let us type right in the box. And we can also use the edit and delete buttons here to adjust the instructions. So some will come with instructions and some will not, but you might want to add instructions. So if there are not currently instructions in place and you'd like to add some, you're going to use the plus instructions button. This is a little bit bigger than it was on my last screen, just so you can see it easier. And here you're also going to select how students are going to turn in their assignments. This one is marked as Mark Complete, but there's a drop-down menu that gives you some other options for how you'd like them to turn in their assignment. And then when you're finished, you are going to click Save. So these tabs across the top are all the student modalities. Clicking through these tabs will let you adjust each of the student modalities in the same manner. And again, you're going to want to make sure that you click Save after your changes. So that's briefly how to modify existing curriculum. So now let's talk again quickly about how we can create something new. So a great way to start anything new, in my opinion, is to start small. So if if it seems intimidating, which it would to me, to do a whole course, you could think about just doing a special project or an assignment. I'm a science teacher, so like for me, this would maybe be something that I'd try out with a lab or something. So let's take a look at how to get started doing that. So to start making a custom course or project, again, we're going to go right to that curriculum screen and select custom curriculum. From there, we're going to click the plus custom curriculum button. So when we click on that, again, we're going to have a pop-up come up that's going to direct us to add the name for our course and a description. We can select a grade level that we want to use, decide how we're going to share this class that we're making, if we're going to do it just with our class or with the whole school. And then you can also select the type of framework for your course. You may want to use this Yeti 7E template. That's the one that most of our courses are written in that. You could also choose the traditional 5E template, or you could do a custom template. So in this example, I've chosen the 7E template. I'm hoping that my students who are already using Yeti Academy are familiar with the modalities that are included with that, and they know what to expect. So after adding all of my information, I'm going to go ahead and click the blue Create button at the bottom. So to find your project, the one that we just did, we're going to select Custom Curriculum again. And here you'll see a field with the custom course or project that you added. So this is the one that I just did, my taxonomy project. And to begin developing the curriculum, we're going to click on the 0 lessons button. Now this one doesn't have any lessons. The last one showed that we had, I can't remember what it said, 23 or something like that. But this has 0 lessons because we haven't built this out at all. We're just starting from scratch on this. You can see our title there, and then we can go ahead and add a custom unit by clicking the custom unit button. And as you go through this, you're going to find that it really is going to prompt you to do everything that you need to do next. For example, here we're prompted to add a unit. So again, if you're thinking of this like chapters in a book, you know, you can add these in however you want. So if it's a single lesson or if it's multiple lessons, you can decide how you want to put that in. So you're going to add a title for your first unit or your first chapter, or if it's a single lesson, you'll just put the title for that, and then you'll click the Create button. So now you can see that a tile has been added with the name of our first unit. So you can see we've added biological classification. So to get started working on that, you can click the tile, and that will let you start developing your lesson. So now we're inside of our lesson, and again, for the next step, we're going to use the custom lesson button. So we'll click on that, plus custom lesson, which is right here. And again, that's going to prompt us again. So here we're going to add a name this time for our lesson. So we'll add a name, and then we'll click the Create button. Now in this screen, you can edit the title of the lesson if you would like by clicking on the pen and paper icon. You can delete the lesson if it's something you decided, oh, I don't want to do that right now, maybe I'll do that later. Or clicking on the View button is going to let you edit the student portion of things or the student modalities. So clicking on that View button is going to bring up, now this is the 7E template, so this is the student side of things. So you can see in this screen that Engage is highlighted in blue. So all of these tabs across the top are the different student portions, again, in that 7E template. And you can see Engage, our first one, is right at the top. This is really nice because as you click through the tabs, they're going to give you information about which materials and which information to add. So Engage, as I mentioned, this is kind of a warm-up or a bell ringer activity. That's the first one. But it's very handy to have this template because it will just tell you the kind of stuff that you can add in right here. And all of these can be edited with that same pen and paper icon. So then within the student modalities, you'll be able to fully customize your lessons. So again, we're in Engage, and you can add written content right up in the box right here. You can add flashcards with this little icon right here. I'm not going to go through exactly how to do that just for time today. But you can also add step-by-step instructions. We talked about that a little bit earlier, that some of the existing materials will have instructions and you can add to them or take away. Here, as you're starting fresh, there won't be any instructions, but this is where you can add step-by-step instructions. And then you can also select the turn-in method. You can see this is marked complete, but there's a drop-down arrow here that will let you select some other options. And then when you're finished, you will click the Save button. So in the same way, you can add teacher resources and standards. So maybe you have a slideshow that you'd like to include, or maybe you need certain standards for this unit to turn in to an administrator. By clicking the Edit button, you're able to do that. So let's just take a close-up view on some of the options. So you can upload in some different ways. Your resources and your standards both have kind of the same look to them. So things can be added in as file uploads or as links. You can type right into the box if you'd like, but there are several options for that. So here's the file upload. This is the link button. And then of course you have the option for just adding text in different ways. So let's go through a file upload, just kind of the steps for that. Again, you're going to click that file icon. And then a box will open up that will allow you to drop or upload the file. And then you're going to add that using the Open button. So now let's run through uploading a link. So you'll click the link button and then copy the URL for the file and select Insert to add the resource. If you're working in a Google application like Docs or Slides or Drawing, the URL at the top of the file, you probably already know this, but the end can be changed from edit to copy, which is going to force the user to make a copy of the file. So if you have a Google document that you'd like to keep as a template and you don't want people to change it, you can just put in a copy. So that way when students open it up, that will keep your original intact. So again, you just delete that little word edit from the end of the URL and replace it with the word copy, press enter, and that's going to bring up a different, it'll change the way that students open the file. So when you copy the URL, you're going to highlight the new one that you've that you've added using that copy option. So standards are added in the same way as resources. When you add these in, just please make sure to click save after adding your resources. I'm terrible at clicking save because I'm so used to using Google and they just do that for me. But I think that I briefly mentioned earlier adding badges. So I just want to take a quick look at where to find this feature, as well as a couple of other things that you'll find in custom curriculum. So from the teacher's menu, that side menu that we talked about, again, you're going to select curriculum. So that's what's brought up this screen. And at the top of that screen, you'll see editing buttons across the top. So these include badge editor. This is a premium feature and it has a little crown icon. You'll also see buttons for quiz editor and for assessment editor. And we'll come back to these two, but I just want to talk quickly about making a custom badge for your course. So you'll click the badge editor button and then choose plus custom badge, which is right there. So to add a badge, you're going to give it a title, select the course from the drop-down menu. So you'll find the course that you added, and then either choose a PNG or a JPEG image, and then you will click create. So for this badge, I just made a quick drawing using Google Drawings, and I exported it as a PNG file just for a little something. And so when you click that badge editor button again, then you'll see the badge that you created. Now, quiz editor, right next to that, lets you create a quiz game. These are like those that we have in our Empower modalities. And this is it's a competitive game where the kids are answering questions and they can get better scores, and it's fun. They really like it because it's a competition, of course. So you're going to select plus custom quiz game to get started. And this is automatically going to open a quiz that you'll customize. So here you're going to select the type of class, and you will key in a name for your quiz. And then you will also key in your first question. So here the kids are learning about binomial nomenclature. So this is the top half of the screen. It's just enlarged for detail, but I'll show you what the bottom half of the screen looks like. The lower half looks like this. So you'll see a place to add a time limit. We usually do about 30 seconds on ours typically, but you can make it whatever you want. And then to add an answer, you're going to place your cursor right in front of the word option and then key in an answer. You will want to check the correct box to note the correct answer. And then you can use the add option button to give additional options for answers. The add question button at the bottom is to add another question to the quiz game. So after you have gotten one in, you're just going to click this to add the next one. And then again, when you are finished, please be sure to hit that save button. And also the preview button will let you have a look at the quiz that you've made. So moving on to the next button, we have the assessment editor button. And this lets you create a student self-test. These are just like the ones that we have in our evaluate modalities. And again, here, you're going to select that plus custom assessment button to get you started. And then start building your assessment. So to do this, again, you're going to add the type and the name, and you're going to key in your first question. And again, you're going to put your cursor in front of the word option, note the correct answer with the check mark, just like we did before. And also, you can use the add option button here if you want students to key in an answer or if you want them to submit a link. So if you want to go kind of beyond that multiple choice, you'll choose that option. And when you do that, if you choose the plus submit comment or link button, it will be highlighted in yellow, just like you see here. So you can add questions and make sure that you save your work. And just like before, you can see a preview of your creation by clicking that preview button. So I understand that this has really been a lot of information in a very short period of time, and I do apologize for that. I know it's hard when you're kind of trying to follow along, but I would suggest if you are interested in customizing or creating your own content with Yeti, that you rewatch the recording of this webinar on our YouTube channel. I like to do this myself because as I'm watching, I can pause the video and kind of complete the steps in real time. And also, if you're interested in a more in-depth training, we do have a professional development course coming up on creating custom curriculum. And that'll be a little more in-depth, kind of talking about design and planning and just some tips on setting up the classroom culture and that kind of thing. So that is coming soon. So hopefully, if this is of interest to you, that will be something that you can look into a little bit more.